One new protagonist, the other more familiar. But the rivalry is old and the supporters of both Tottenham and Chelsea seek a script that sees their side victorious.
Flo, is this his hat-trick? It is, you know. This isn't just a defeat, it's a humiliation. And Lena with a chance. Will this finally be Tottenham's day?
Here's Mata again, scores again, 2-1 down, 3-2 up, it's top of the league form from Chelsea. Kane, easing away from Oscar. Harry Kane, oh what a goal! One of their own, a Harry Kane hurricane. Costa, glorious goal! Dele Alli at the bridge, would be history maker.
I think Chelsea have gained success in peaks and troughs, in winning the title and finishing outside the top four, and they've done it with a regular circle of managers. And Tottenham are kind of the antidote to that. They are success through consistency rather than through trophies, through finishing the top three for the last 3 years, the only team to do that, through no cycle of managers, through a smaller cycle of players as well. So I think that kind of opposition between the two ideals, it really works.
Mauricio Pochettino has had to deal with uncertainty about the new stadium and a lack of summer investment in the playing squad, but he still has serious talent at his disposal. Tottenham are fourth, just a point behind Chelsea. In a break with recent tradition, their away form is better than their home form. They've won 7 of 8 league matches on the road, only 2 of 4 at Wembley. Make it 3 of 5, and they'll secure consecutive league victories over Chelsea for the first time in more than 30 years.
You can feel it in the stadium when you arrive at the game, when you first walk out. It's buzzing and both sets of fans don't want to leave there without a win behind them. And we went to the bridge last year and picked up 3 points, which was huge for us. It was a special day and hopefully we'll be able to do that again.
I still maintain that other than Manchester City, there is no team in the Premier League that has a higher ceiling of single match potential than Tottenham. When they all play at their peak and when it clicks, I think they can beat anyone in this league, and that includes Chelsea.
It's all clicking for the Blues. Quick as a wink, Maurizio Sarri turned underachievers to unbeaten performers. Confidence blossoming, brimming with attacking intent, and boosted by the news of a new 5-year deal for N'Golo Kante. Sure, they were frustrated by Everton last time out, but it's games like this coming encounter at Wembley against fellow top 4 or even title rivals that will define Chelsea's credentials. They won this fixture last season and will seek a repeat, or at least to remain undefeated.
They are competitive. They will fight for a Champions League position, for sure. And it's a very difficult match because we have to be careful not to lose the ball in our half, I think.
Chelsea is 1 point over us, but yes, I think always when you play this type of game, which are so important, means a lot for everyone. And of course, we need to be calm, relaxed now, and be sure that we arrive in the best way, and being competitive, and then performance in the best way to try to win.
The scene is set, the cast star-studded, a perfect performance promised if the players stick to their lines. In this reworking of an epic drama, this new chapter in an old rivalry, expect another gripping Premier League classic.
Did you see Son's quality immediately?
Yeah, he come in and he was one of those players that settled into the changing room straight away. On the training pitch, you could see his ability. I mean, he scored a lot of goals in the Bundesliga the year before, and we were excited about having him. It took him a couple of months to adjust to the pace of the Premier League, but look at him now. He's a top Premier League player who scores lots of goals for Tottenham, and he's key to this Tottenham side.
What I love about that interview is he praises the pass for the goal. I'm not sure the pass was what made the goal, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah, I mean, look at him here. Dele gives him an assist here. Look, he's
still a lot to do, though.
He's unbelievable because we've seen this a few times. He's isolated. He's go on, cuts inside, lovely. And this is a great finish as well. That's not easy because he's coming in on his weak foot. But this is what you love about the lad, because he's a willing runner. For young players out there, they might want to make that run.
Yeah.
He's in there. Luiz has come out the slot again. lovely feet. It's a great goal, and it's everything he deserved because he was brilliant today. His running was all over the place, and he was really stretching Chelsea back forward.
And we saw Jorginho highlighted there. I think that again goes back to the argument: is Kante best suited in the holding role? I mean, Sarri, sometimes he may be stubborn, he may be saying, I'm going to stick to my principles, and he's the general who's going to get us out playing in games. But sometimes, in the Premier League, you go away from home, especially big games, you need people in there that can actually defend, who know to get in situation. Because mark my words, if Kante was forced out into that wide position against Son's going on the floor or into touch, and Kante's coming out with the ball. And that's the way it is. And sometimes you have to respect the opposition sometimes, and Sarri would have learned a lot today, I'm sure.
Fair point.
Yeah, definitely. We said before the game, sometimes when you go to a tough away game like a Spurs, like a Man United, you have to respect them a little bit. And I think Chelsea today wanted to come and play their flowing football, get it into Jorginho. And Rio's right. I think Kante in that position, he covers the ground. He sees out Son. Chelsea is still in the game. It's 2-0. And then imagine that the last 10 minutes, once it's 2-1, it's a different game. So I think Sarri would have learnt now that, you know, Kante for these type of games away from home is ideal in that position.
Yeah, I mean, in a London derby, you have to earn the right to play. You can't expect to come here to Tottenham away and just expect to have the ball at your feet and play nice, pretty football. You have to earn the right, and Tottenham earned the right today more so than Chelsea. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Kante in that number 4 position out there, it might have been a different story. But Jorginho, he looked a bit uncomfortable in the defensive transition at times today. The back 4 of Chelsea were quite exposed. They were playing high up the pitch at Wembley, which is a big pitch, and Tottenham took full advantage of that.
We've had questions about this Chelsea team this season, although we haven't had to ask them because they've actually picked up the results. But it almost feels like today Tottenham had all the tools to exploit the weaknesses that we've expected Chelsea to have, starting early on. I mean, the first goal 8 minutes in, when we started to see the issues.
Yeah, and we speak about David Luiz coming out and pulling. As a back 4, you want to stay in your slots early in the game. First 10 minutes, weather the storm, because you're going to be under a bit of pressure, but don't give them easy ins into your box. Here, Eriksen, a technician from this area, puts a beautiful ball on Dele's head there, and Dele hasn't got to do much with that. It's a great run, but the ball is exquisite.
Yeah, it's a great ball from Eriksen. He's done this countless times. Again, maybe Jorginho could have got his body shape in a better defensive position, but I think you've got to praise Eriksen there. You know, it's a wonderful ball, and Dele's just, you know, that's a lovely goal if you're a striker. You know, you just get your eyebrows on it and it goes.
He enjoyed himself today, didn't he, Dele Alli?
Yeah, he was all over the place. It was a performance that he turns up in big games. You know, he scored 6 in 5 against Chelsea, and I thought today he nullified the threat of Jorginho, and he was effective himself. He got a goal and an assist as well, so it was a good day at the office for him.
Right, let's have a look at 2-0. Rio, we're going to sit back and see what you've got for us. Off you go.
Yeah, I think we spoke about earlier in the game about the goal being defensive issue, but also the midfield was disjointed, and I think if we let this play on here, you see, especially, I'll highlight Jorginho in a second when the ball starts coming around. Right, he wants to step up here, and here he is. You can see him, the number 5 on your screen there. He goes up, but the organisation of this midfield isn't there, and this is unlike Sarri's teams really that we've seen so far. He goes up, you see him start gesturing, looking around, where are my midfield partners? Come on, get up with me. And then once the ball gets into Harry Kane here, they're all out of place. You can see them there. All the 3 midfielders in your picture there, out of place. They have no effect defensively at all. And then, as Ryan mentioned before, the back 4 are left exposed. But what's great about this then now turns to Spurs. Son identifies that he's main man. Harry Kane has the ball. What's he do? He says, yep, I'm going to run in behind, and I'm going to make sure I'm going to ask Rudiger a question. What's Rudiger do? He's got a question then. Do I go to the ball to Harry Kane, or do I run back with Son? The problem with Rudiger, he makes neither decision. He goes in no man's land.
Just before you move on, what is the right decision for a defender in that situation?
Right here, it's difficult because you'd expect normally to have a midfielder to be within touching distance to get to Kane. Right. There isn't, so it's about timing. Me personally, I probably would have edged to go back to stop the ball being played behind me, but then at some point come out and engage. Right. You've got to engage the man on the ball as well. He's 20 yards from goal. He's a top striker in the league. You've got to go out there. And what he does neither. And what happens then is you get punished. Look, lackadaisical, doesn't go out at all to the ball. And it was comical really from that part. When we look at David Luiz here, this is what you want from a centre half. You want your centre half to come out. This is what you don't want really. You want your centre half to come out and put his body on the line. And what he doesn't do, you see here, David Luiz is actually moving out of the way of the ball. Now listen, I can sympathise and not sympathise, but in his defence, I've done that before. When you actually think the striker hasn't connected with the ball fully, he's scuffed it a little bit, and he's not. You feel the keeper should smother this.
Yeah.
You might do that, but here he makes a mistake, and he probably expects his goalkeeper to save him here.
What do you think he's thinking? Is he thinking that's a poor shot, I'm going to let the keeper have it, or is he wimping out basically?
I think he's thinking Harry Kane doesn't hit that full on, and my keeper will get that. He'll smother it. He'll put his hat on it, and we'll go up the other end of the pitch. But you can't guess in this game. You've got to be certain. And in this instance, he got it completely wrong. And we see what happens. It's in the back of the net before you can save who.
Here's one then to all three of you. We've spoken about the issues in midfield and whether it should be Kante playing more centrally. Can you play a formation like this with David Luiz? Can he play a back four?
David Luiz on the ball is fantastic, right? He has personality, he wants to play, he wants to get on the ball and wants to deliver balls into the dangerous areas for his team, and he can play them balls. But especially places like here, you've got to, before you think about anything with the ball, you've got to get your house in order defensively. And I think at the moment, Rudiger is a young centre-half who's improving all the time. And as a young centre-half, you need someone alongside you who you know where they're going to be. And sometimes David Luiz plays a bit like a maverick. He plays almost like on his own and just plays his own game at times. And that leaves other people exposed within the back four. And I think that's the problem at the moment, I think. But the last couple of games, it's having an effect on the likes of Rudiger, who's a promising young centre-half.